Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rock City Central. I am one of the luckiest men on the state of New Jersey, simply because of this beautiful woman, Mary. Mary Moulds here is a special guest. Well, all guests are special, but she's making me a little bit more special simply because of all the beautiful women she's bringing here to my podcast. But it's not about me tonight, it's about Mary Moulds. Mary Moulds, welcome yourself to Rock City Central.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Mike, for having me. I am excited to be here. It beats being in the workplace.
Anything beats being in the
Really,
workplace. Unless you're doing what you love.
Unless you're doing what you love, and I love what I do.
Exactly right. So we're going to talk. You actually do a lot of things.
I do.
But the way we met was, and this is going to seem to be more and more like a revolutionized plug.
That's all right.
It's like a Zanman Frankel plug episode, which it really isn't. But I went to see Randy, and Randy said, this woman, Mary, she's so awesome. She does all this work with all these women. Maybe you can, speak to her. And I said, absolutely. And then that one phone call just skyrocketed, and now we're booked until the month of April, which is great. But it's all about what you provide other women. And this is the most selfless act I think I've ever heard of any human being do, because there's so much that you do for other women, not only because they're beautiful. That's the great thing, but well, that's one of the great things, but it's the platforms that they stand for, that you're giving them a voice. So you get these beautiful women, and people start to pay attention, and then they get to real content, whether it's, abuse, or whether it's MS, or whether it's with Jackie was bullying. So you're really touching on some great topics, and who knows what life would have been like if it wasn't for you, Mary. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm lucky. The reason that I am able to provide a voice is because I had that voice, because my first director of my first pageant ever is in the room with me tonight to support me. Christopher Wilshire was my director.
Christopher.
And Chris,
thank you
big
very
hand
much.
for my buddy. He's the reason that I had a voice and was able to share my story, and that's why I have a love for what I have. And he brought me my best friends in my adult life. Wow,
that's incredible. But I think after doing so much research about you,
Uh-oh.
you have a couple of great stories.
I do.
So I'm going to let you pick the one that one really stood out to me, and I was like, holy crap. But why don't you tell the people what Miss International New Jersey is, I guess there's 50 states, there's one for each state?
There is a title holder for each state, but it's an international pageant, so we have all the countries that can be represented as well.
Wow. So who manages the whole international?
So Mary and Mel Richardson, who are out of Roanoke, Virginia, run the international pageant system. So they are everyone's directors. They put on the most amazing performance. Last year, in the middle of a pandemic, they were one of the few pageants where the show actually still got to go on.
That was the end of March?
That was in July, in the heart of the summer.
They did it. Wow.
They did it in Kingsport, Tennessee. My co-director, Kimberly Meehan, who is home tonight, she and I got in the car. We drove 14 hours because it was very important to us that we be there to support our Mrs. New Jersey.
Phil Murphy would have done the same. He would have
Yes,
let everybody come.
absolutely.
It would have been one heck of a pageant for the state of New Jersey. But we won't get into politics. But that's great. So you are the representative of all of the counties in New Jersey?
So Kimberly and I run the state of New Jersey. So we are the directors for the New Jersey International Pageant.
There's a lot of counties in Jersey.
There's a lot of counties in New Jersey.
And how many per year do you get to?
Well, truth be told, this is our second year doing this together. Last year, right before the pandemic, we knew that things were happening. Our numbers were low. But this is the first year we're having a live stage performance, and that is what we're gearing up for now, less than 3 months away.
So let's talk about that, because how could people, can they buy tickets? Do they go there?
As a matter of fact, we just talked about that yesterday on our call. We are going to have tickets available, but we're going to be practicing safe COVID procedures for our ladies, for our family, for our staff. So tickets have to be purchased in advance, and we'll be putting that all across our social channels in the next week or two, how people can come. Our wonderful sponsors get a free ticket or two. So hopefully, maybe you'll be there with some of our other great sponsors watching the show. And
that would be fantastic. Yeah, and you'll leave all that information so folks watching this could at least go and they can purchase those tickets.
Absolutely.
Where is that actual?
That will be held at the Crown Plaza in Plainsboro, New Jersey.
Gotcha. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Right in the center of the state.
Yes.
Because there's such a discrepancy who lives where and what's really the center of the state.
So is that to crown 2021?
That's to crown the 2021 winners, and our Miss and our Misses will then go off to the national pageant in July, back again in Kingsport, Tennessee.
Wow.
So I just put in my vacation days today, and I will be out of work for 15 or 16 days to get myself to Tennessee, be there for 2 weeks, and then come home.
Wow, Tennessee, Memphis. Wow.
Close by.
Yeah.
Let's just say when Kim and I went last year, it was the first meal we had because we were right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
Restaurants weren't open here. We went down there and they put us in a separate room. We got to take our masks off and we ate barbecue before we came back to New Jersey.
Wow.
And that was the first meal we had both had in about 5 months in a restaurant. So boy,
Wow.
was that good.
Wow,
Yeah.
of course. But now you said you took time off of your job. You do a lot of things, and you're like a head chef at Melee. Is that like true?
Well, we don't say melee.
Well,
We say
I'm sorry.
Mila.
If
you wanna
us
keep
Brooklyn
it-
guys, it's Melee.
If you want to keep it clean, we say like Sheila, but we also say like tequila. So
Oh, okay.
Mila like tequila. That's what
that's it. So how do you become a chef? Well, I mean, they're a renowned company.
They are.
And this is a
renowned
big
company.
deal. You've been doing it for years.
I've just celebrated my 10-year anniversary.
Holy crap!
And
Congratulations.
you will appreciate this, and you can understand this. I did not go to culinary school. I'm not classically trained. I had an Italian mom. That is the school of culinary for a young Italian woman growing up. You watch everything mom does and grandmom does and nana does.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn. And they chase you around with the wooden spoon, but over time you learn how to do all those recipes. So I had an Italian mom who pulled me into the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I loved to cook, but when I went there, I actually went out for a sales position. And they interviewed me and said, "You have way too much personality to be working the showroom. Do you like cooking?" I said, "Yeah, of course." So they just kind of threw me into a culinary role and made me the corporate chef.
Holy crap. And there's probably thousands of people that, I can't believe
have a good
Mary
job.
Moulds got this job, and she never went to culinary school.
I did not, and I'm
that's
very
so
open about it.
But that's so important. How many people are like, my mom wants me to go to college, I got to spend 4 years,
Yeah.
something I don't really want to do,
Yeah.
and then you get out. I went to college to be a social studies teacher, and I graduated. I taught high school social studies in Brooklyn. I did it for one semester, and that was
Right,
it.
right.
And I don't do it anymore. But you realize what you want to do, and then you just do it. And I think that's awesome. What an inspiration, right?
Well, I've always loved being in the kitchen. I love people. I love to be heard. That's the Italian in me too.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking the stage once in a while. So it was a perfect match for me and my skills. And I've learned a lot on the job. But I'll be the first to tell you, it's not about being a foodie or being fussy. You could make me a grilled cheese sandwich, and if I don't have to make it, I'm the happiest girl in the world some
Yeah.
nights. So
A lot
I'm
of
not
chefs say
I'm
that.
not high maintenance. You put a burger on the grill in the summer, that's all I need.
That's awesome.
So-
Yeah, and back to the whole your grandmother, your nana, your mom. My nana, rest in peace, I love my nana. She was always the cook, and every time it was spadinas, it was the shrimp, everything, right? The rice balls were great. And once my wife was trying to cook like my nana, and we thought she had the recipe perfect. I said, "You're missing one thing." She goes, "I thought I followed it to the T." I said, "You did, but it's the hair that used to fall out of my nana's head and would sit there in that rice bowl, and that for some reason made it taste a little bit better." That's
and,
what she...
and most Italian moms don't even write those recipes down. You know that.
That
When
is
my
exactly
mom
right.
passed away, the only reason, and I'll give my brother this, the only reason my brother cooks better Italian is because he was a mama's boy.
Ah.
And he stayed home until the last possible minute. And he got
Smart.
married at the last possible minute.
He's smart.
But he got to live home and watch mom do everything. I wanted to be independent. I was out of college within a year. I had my own place. I didn't want to come home at midnight. My parents had strict rules. They were strict. As long as I lived in their house, it was their rules. But I had been to college for 4 years. How do you tell me I got to be home at midnight?
Yeah.
So my brother stayed home, and he became the better Italian cook, and I'm the better Polish cook.
Wow, that's a great story.
Yeah.
But you see, that's not even the platform that you're running on. So you have so much that you go on here. So we have that, and we're going to circle back to that chef thing because
Circle.
I have to still put my head around what I've been reading. But going back to your
Gosh, now
platform.
I'm scared.
So no, let's go back to your platform.
Yes.
The platform is MS. multiple
My
sclerosis.
platform is, yes.
So my brother David was diagnosed, I want to say maybe 20 years ago with multiple sclerosis, and it's never affected him. I don't think so. He's extremely funny. Maybe that was one of his side effects. But he's got a great personality. He has MS, but I never saw it really affect him. Is it something that just creeps up and it comes back, or is it goes away, or can it go away? I don't know much about it.
So I'm going to give you a little basic education.
That's
and
great.
Just like David, I share something with your brother. I am actually celebrating this month, right now, my 20th official diagnosis year.
Wow.
I am in my 20th year. So it was, and I'll go back and tell you the story, but MS is an autoimmune disorder, so it's very unpredictable. It's one of the most unpredictable autoimmune diseases. So a person can wake up and maybe have some pins and needles in their arm today, and it could go away tomorrow, and they might not ever have to deal with anything else for another 5 to 10 years. It creeps up when it wants to.
Is MS is pins and needles?
It can come in forms of pins and needles, numbness, or tingling in any of your limbs, lower or upper extremities. It can also come in the form of an eye infection, what they call ocular neuritis, which was my first actual sign of MS when I was 21, but it was misdiagnosed by a doctor. Doctor just said, oh, you're 21, you probably touched dirty money, you probably touched your eye. We're going to give you eye drops, you'll be fine in a week. I had double vision, went away, and I never saw anything else for 8 more years. So when my neurologist first examined me and we went back to my history, they did determine that I was actually right smack in the age group for women, which is 20 to 40.
Wait, so you can develop MS? You're not born with MS?
Well, you're born with the gene that carries MS, but it doesn't mean it has to present itself.
Wow.
So you could go your whole life and maybe never have anything that shows.
So that's important to tell people, especially
Absolutely.
the audience. If they get diagnosed at 16, they might think, oh my God, my life's over when I'm 24, but it might not even show its head.
And, I have a very good friend, I don't know if she's listening, but she follows us, Francesca. I met Francesca, she was 16 years old, she was in high school, and my older neighbor knew that I had MS, and Francesca was one of the youngest girls that I ever knew to get MS in high school. And I'll never forget, she had lost her mom to cancer, and she reached out to her Nana, and her Nana said, wait, my friend Betty's neighbor is a young woman with MS. Let me try to get her in touch with you. So I have been Francesca's mentor since she was in high school, and she got married, and thank God, after years of trying, she just had her first little baby during COVID.
Wow.
And we message all the time. I haven't been able to meet him yet. It's not safe enough yet, but her MS, knock on wood, is doing amazing. Motherhood looks beautiful on her.
Wow.
And I think even if something happened tomorrow where something creeped up, she got what she wanted and she's super happy.
That's great. So how do you use the pageant to tell people, inform people, educate people? How do you use that with this platform?
So the pageant is obviously another outlet, like a podcast.
Right, that's
another
true.
outlet for women to take the stage. Not only to take the stage, but to have their moment, their time with 5 or 3 or 8 different people that judge them. So we have a panel of 5 judges that will be working with our women this year. So those women will have a one-on-one interview with the judges. They'll get to talk about their platform, but they get to wear the sash and the crown, and it helps them to get through the doors sometimes that are a little tougher to get through, so they can share their story.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't even realize that. That's amazing.
The crown and the sash. You let Jackie right through the door. Have
Yeah.
you seen Jackie?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
Just
no, it's
kidding.
exact.
Love you, Jackie. I
That's
know
exact.
she's watching.
But no, it's true. You have a crown on. Then she took the Queen of Moldova. Was that what?
Moldova.
Moldova. That's what she said.
Absolutely.
We had the Queen of Moldova
When
here.
the person
right
walks
here,
through
right
with the
now.
crown, you just automatically think there's some sense of importance.
That's brilliant,
And
by
it
the way.
opens up different doors for these ladies to be able to share their
So,
story.
does every single woman that come in have a platform, or do they say, you know what, this is what I really feel strong about. I'm going to pick it.
They can pick it.
Okay.
They can absolutely pick it. But I find that 9 out of 10 times, everybody already has something that they're raising awareness about, passionate about, or already, attached to.
Right.
Most women do.
That's totally
And
makes
sometimes
sense.
it's not their personal. For me, I've always felt that my story was super easy to tell because it's my disease. I live with it.
Right.
I'm the one that wakes up in the summer fatigued from the heat. I'm the one that's had a couple, times I've been on steroids, things like that. So it's easy for me. But for other women, it's a grandmother that has Alzheimer's disease. It's an aunt that lost her life to breast cancer.
Wow.
It's a child with autism. There's just lots of great stories, and they're so important to be told.
Yeah, you are the person that's giving these people the conduit to do that, and I think that's I honor that, because people like you, I really am attracted to, because it's like one of those things that you don't think about
Well, I'm
yourself.
attracted to you
Well,
too,
there you
Mike.
go. Let's take that off the air. Everything is going to go black. No, but that's going to bring me back to now another thing that I thought you were, because I read about your MS, but I thought the health and fitness was you, because I read somewhere, and I don't believe it, and I'm going to ask you to stand up. You were at one time 342 pounds?
At my heaviest, 360, but
I don't believe that. Could you stand up for the audience?
Ah.
You cannot imagine that this woman could ever be anything more
Yes,
than
yes,
150
yes.
pounds.
Oh, yes. I was about 360 at my heaviest.
Are you serious?
342 at some of my recorded weights when I actually walked through a door at Weight Watchers to get weighed.
But I can't even imagine.
But I'll tell you, and obviously, again, the Italian genes, they're great, but they also...
They started to expand those Italian genes.
They play into weight for a lot of Italian women and food. Everything we do around culture growing up was food. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after Christmas. So I grew up, I was never a tiny kid. I always had extra weight on me. And I'm 48 now, so back in the day when I was in high school, people like Kate Moss were the role models.
That's super thin, right?
I mean, I wasn't the girl in high school picking up the guys. It wasn't until I got older that all of a sudden my curves were embraced a little differently. But obviously I carried extra weight my whole life. That was never a question. But when I developed MS, my first year of marriage, I gained about 120 pounds within the first year and skyrocketed. So at my heaviest, it was from disease modifying drugs that would help me. They got rid of the numbness and the pins and the needles, but brought on all the side effects that steroids do, such as weight gain, sleep deprivation, moodiness, you name it.
And you tie that in. So now you have this weight problem. I would call it a problem.
It is a problem. It was a problem.
And then you become a chef for Melia. So you become this head chef for Melia.
Yes.
And
you're thinking Italian, familia. I know you are.
I'm trying to figure it out. But how do you juggle, with the weight problem that you had and becoming a chef? I mean, it takes a lot in your head to say, you know what, I got to be self-control, or is it just, I don't know, what is it that's allowed you to become a chef, to cook amazing food for a very, very high-end company, and yet say to yourself, there's no temptation there.
No,
it's
you know what?
amazing.
Well, part of it, I think anybody that works in restaurant business would say this to you. You're around food so much, you do get tired of smelling it. You get tired of smelling like it. You get tired of looking at it, and obviously all the recipes that we write, we taste test them once, twice when we know they're good.
Right.
After that, if I follow the recipe, I don't need to taste it every time.
Right.
I know it was good
That's
the first
true.
time I did it. It's going to be good the 100th time I did it.
So let's talk about how you got your weight back, because you look amazing.
Thank
right?
you.
And as my doctor would say, because I said to my doctor, I'm like 153 pounds, and I'm usually 150. He goes, how old are you? I said at the time I was like 48. He goes, well, you were never 48 before. Now that's the reason why, which makes no sense. Age makes no difference.
Right.
So you can be healthy whether you're older or whether you're younger. How do you get from 360 to that?
Well, I have worked very diligently on...
Don't tell me anything about a 3D machine.
No. I'm not telling you anything about that. You know what, and people laugh, but what I love is a keto type lifestyle.
Right,
so
right.
obviously for most of my yo-yoing years as an adult trying to lose weight, I always did really well on like a keto Atkins.
Me too. I did Atkins too.
I love bacon. I love pork
Me
roll.
too.
I love eggs. I love cheese.
Me too.
I do.
Same
I'm
thing.
a Jersey girl. I love all of those
and
things.
I love meat.
I like
steaks.
a bagel too, but I don't need the bagel.
Right. It's
I
those carbs.
I like
right.
the meat. I'm a meat eater. I'm a carnivore. So I've done very well on that. And then obviously a couple of years ago, I just said, I got to get the last of this off. Like the last of it. That last 40, 50 pounds. I need to find another outlet. I need to find another resource, which I did.
Is that when you call Zan Man?
That's when I called Zan Man, Zan Woman, Zan Everything.
Another Frankel and Zan Man episode.
That's
brought to you by Rock Out Loud.
That's when I said I need to get the last of it off. But for me, I always like to set myself up with a goal that's kind of associated with it. So I want to do this, but I also want to do this. So I said I want to get the last of the weight off, but at the same time, let's just try to do a bikini competition at the same time, and let's make that the motivation.
Look at
I
you.
don't necessarily need motivation, but I like it. It helps me.
It's a goal.
It's a goal, and it
Yeah.
helps me to stay competitive with myself.
That's awesome.
So I did walk in to revolutionize nutrition in Freehold, New Jersey.
The Zan Man Frankel plug.
did.
Right, there you go again.
I did. I walked in.
By the way, the best. I was there today. I saw Miss Lauren White. Do you know Lauren White?
I do know Lauren White.
She makes everything right, Miss Lauren White.
Miss Lauren White.
I love going up because she's very motivational. They keep you. The one thing about revolutionizing what they do with macros is it's not so hard coded. Like you can have those cheat days, which is great, and you can basically go to them and they'll, manipulate the diets for you based on your own personal experiences. It's not like you read a book and say, this is it, this is it. They actually customize it for you. So how did that work with you?
That worked well for me. And I'm also someone that can just kind of go with anything, but I liked that lifestyle. I liked being in control.
Me too.
And I liked not being, told like, oh, you can't eat, or you can't have a glass of red wine if
Yes.
you go out with your girlfriends and have dinner. Well, yeah, I can. If I factor it in, I just have to make it up somewhere during the day.
So that's what I do with Lauren. Lauren, I need my rum. She goes, Mike, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
And I'm Polish, so the vodka plays in even better.
There you go.
But no, I like the lifestyle. For me, it worked. It's easy. And obviously having them at my fingertips was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I started with Rebecca. She was my nutritionist. And then when I finally was ready to do a competition, I moved over to Randy, the man.
Yeah. You ever see Randy in heels?
Did I see Randy in heels? Randy walks better in heels than I do. I'm telling you, he's going to be our new pageant coach.
I'm telling you, it's those thighs,
those
it's
thighs.
the calves.
Those creamy, milky thighs.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but I love the check-in, and I love that accountability.
That's exactly right, 100%.
Going every week for me, it's a nice half hour in the car, I listen to music, I go there, chit-chat, 15, 20 minutes, and I just go home with purpose, and I know what my goal is now for the next week.
That's exactly right.
So.
I feel the same way.
There's something to be said about that.
So you know what I want to do is I want to focus now on your girls because
My girls.
You were amazing. It was like my podcast Zoom. My phone started to just go crazy. But the one thing that I noticed about your girls that I haven't noticed with anybody else in terms of these competitions and contests that go on is there's no like wars between you. No one's better than, no one's prettier than, no one does more than. As soon as you sent out my numbers, they were hitting me up and texting me. They all started liking my posts. They got into my Instagram. And then I followed what they were doing on your page. And they're liking each other. They're commenting on each other. They're helping each other. So somebody with one cause goes to somebody with another cause and they come together. I know Giannina.
Oh, she's going to feed my belly this weekend.
Oh, really?
Her and her husband are
Tacos.
doing a fundraiser for No Kid Hungry. I already placed my order for my meals. I'm picking them up at 5 o'clock. A couple of us ordered and taking dinner home.
I know it. What day is that going to be?
That's Saturday. This Saturday, the 16th.
We might not have. We have a very slow guy who's
all right.
in production.
We're blasting it all over social. She sold out already. She actually sold out a few days ago.
She did?
They had a goal to raise $500 and they raised close to $1,000. So
there's nothing we can do?
Giannina,
do another one for next
we'll
week.
do something else with Giannina. You're going to love her.
Yes, she's got to do something.
And her husband's a chef, too.
That's right. And doesn't she do something with feet? Shoes.
Something with feet. That's a very open-ended.
Giannina, feet.
Yes. She just did a fundraiser for Shoes for Souls or Souls.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but she donated, I think they raised close to 200 pairs of shoes they collected.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they made sure that they got off to people that could use them to find careers, jobs, just better living, better health.
Yeah.
So she did that with a sister queen from another system.
That's what I was just saying.
That blows my mind.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, so how do you find these perfect women? I mean, they're beautiful.
Are perfect.
They have great platforms. They're
perfect.
social. They're going to be on the podcast. But how do you go about, or do they find you?
I would say it's half and half. Some of them have found us, but we also have a good eye for somebody that's out there in the community doing wonderful things. Some of our current title holders now, our 2020 queens, actually have, somebody found Giannina. My Ms. Woman, Donna, said to me, I'm going to reach out to this Giannina. I follow her. Her husband's a chef. He's got these great recipes. I think she'd be gorgeous. You should see her social media. And the next thing you know, Giannina's reaching out and saying, I want to compete. So our ladies are very good at recruiting because they see in other women what they see in themselves. And it's just so great. I said to empower other women. When you can do that, and like you said, they have not even met each other. Most of them have not been in the same room. And they all
contribute. They talk to each other. It's just amazing to see that.
I'm on 9 million text chains. I sometimes have to remember which group of women I'm texting. I've got the new contestants. I've got the 2020. I've got the 20 and the 21s. So, they just find each other, they support each other, they build each other up. And I think when they do meet, it's going to be really amazing because they already have so much love for each other.
So if somebody is watching this podcast and they want to be something or part of their town, Miss New Jersey International, what do they do?
So first thing would be to check out our website, www.newjerseyinternationalpageants.com. Okay. We are also on Facebook and on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So if they follow you, you're following
Happy
us.
Little Beast?
My personal is Happy Little Beast, so they can find
Just another
me.
plug, yep.
And that actually, I had the silliest little Instagram name for such a long time, and I have a lot of followers from Europe that love to follow my fitness journey and the weight loss and getting to stage.
Wow.
And one of my British followers, he's followed me since day one, 3 years. His name is Lee. Never met him, never saw his face, just message here and there. And one time he saw a picture of me at the gym. He said, "You're the happiest little beast I've ever seen in America." And
Wow.
I said, "That's it. That is my new screen name, Happy Little Beast." And I was shocked that nobody had it. So 10,000 followers later, there's people still like Happy Little Beast on her story.
Yeah, and you are all over Instagram.
Yeah, I try to be because it's about paying it forward too.
Absolutely.
I want to support the people that support me.
And that's true. So, for example, Jacqueline Di Pasquale, she was on here. Di Pasquale.
Di Pasquale.
Pasquale. Yes, she came on here last week, and you really plugged the heck out of her. Instagram, Facebook, you put it out there to all the girls. You even sent all the girls the what was some of the responses that they got just by watching Jackie?
Well, first of all, the women went on right away, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, we saw the live," and then a couple of them saw when I posted yesterday that hers became available. They all went on and said, "Oh wow, he's such a good interviewer. He looks like he's really fun. He looks like he does his research." So we've had a couple texts going back and forth about you as well. So these ladies are prepared for any little rabbit hole you want to go down.
Well, that's great.
Because I know that people like you like to go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, because, what am I going to do? Tell the same story that they
Right.
find on Instagram, on Facebook? You don't want to do stuff like that. But, as far as your goals now with MS, do you want people to focus now on that? Is MS your platform, or is it now recruiting girls? Because I don't think when I was doing a lot of research, a lot of your older story was based on your platform, MS.
It was, but I want to tell you a story that you might not have found. I don't know how far back you looked on my Instagram, but the real reason that I became a director for this system, and it does tie into my MS. So my old director, Chris, is in the room, and I competed a couple years in Chris's system. And in 2008, I thought I had everything together. I had the perfect gown, right? I had the perfect swimsuit. I got my body into the best shape of my life. And I thought I was going to become the next Mrs. New Jersey, United States. I thought it was my year. And you just walk out of that interview room, and sometimes no matter how good you look, it's not the interview of your life. It just didn't feel like the interview of my life.
What made it not? Come on, this is the juice.
It was just my gut, because
Okay.
when I stand up in a room and I can connect with people, you can just tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that format, it was a panel. So they're all watching you at the same time. It wasn't one-on-one.
Was Phil Murphy on that panel? Because
Phil
that
Murphy
could have been
was
the reason
not
why you
on
didn't
that
connect.
panel.
Maybe that's why you didn't
But
connect.
there were 5 judges, and maybe it's a funny feeling you just get from one judge, or maybe it's just
They looked
something.
the wrong way, or
Maybe it's just something in your gut. I had a good interview, but it wasn't the interview of my life. I knew it wasn't.
was there a question?
No, it was just a gut feeling, and I think every pageant girl knows when she walks out of that room.
Really?
Their job as judges is, of course, to make you feel really good. And the job is to find the best person
To represent.
for the job.
Right, that's exactly
And
right.
I walked out and I felt good, and then I went on stage, and stage I knew I looked good. There was no questions. I was first runner-up, and I questioned in a couple weeks. I was down on myself, and I was about to turn 36 that summer, and I decided I want to go skydiving. And I went to Skydive, New Jersey, at Allaire State Park.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what that is.
Okay, I said, I'm going skydiving. I want to do a dive. And my husband said,
That's
if
Jack.
that's what you
Jack,
want,
by the way.
Jack said, if that's what you want, it's your birthday present, I'll get it for you. No interest in going up. I'll take the photos, and you can jump if you want to jump.
That's crazy.
I went. I did my dive. I felt great. I had lost all this weight to get ready for this pageant. I was in great shape. Go home, have a great night, and wake up in the middle of the night the next day. Something in my stomach feels like it's twisted. I feel nauseous. I'm clammy. I just don't feel right. I end up in the living room on the floor, yelling for my husband to call 911 or take me to hospital. Something's wrong. When I did that dive from losing all that weight, my intestines twisted from the altitude.
Oh my
This is
God.
Randy and Michelle love this story. I'm shocked you've not heard this story. So I jumped and my intestines twisted, and I was going septic.
Is that possible?
It's possible because I lost so much weight. that the organs had all this extra room.
Holy crap.
And I was turning septic as I was in my living room. And by the time I got to the emergency room, they put me on something I'll never forget. I called my best friend and, literally, because I thought that was my last call, and they took me in, and they said I was about 45 minutes away from being completely a goner.
Because of the jumping out of a plane.
Because of the jump. So you know what? I would have not gotten to Mrs. United States that year anyway. I spent the summer in the hospital and recovering with an open wound.
So do you think if you won the pageant, you would have still jumped?
Yeah.
You would have?
I like a little risk.
Wow.
Yeah. I was doing it anyway. It was like a bucket list thing. I wanted to do it.
Wow.
And, who knows? Maybe the different day, different plan. But I went on my 36th birthday, and it got rained out. And I should have taken that as a sign not to go back. Wow. I went back the following week.
Crazy how the universe works, right?
See? So, 2009, I said I want to do something, but I didn't want to go back to that pageant. First runner-up, to go back another year, it can be tough. It can be challenging.
Michelle was second. She lost the first one and then won the second one, wasn't it? She lost one of her pageants, I believe, at one of her bodybuilding contests.
I believe so, but there's a lot of mental play when you are first runner-up and, to go back the following year and then try to win.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's a lot on you.
Absolutely.
You put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to do that. So I went as Mrs. New Jersey International. I picked a different system, a different pageant, and I loved this system because 50% of it was based on interview and my passion for my platform.
That's awesome.
So that's why, my heart took me where I was supposed to go, and here I am now directing with my best friend Kimberly, and I couldn't be happier.
And Kimberly was supposed to be here, wasn't she?
Kimberly was. Kimberly, I'll share it because it is out there. Kimberly has COVID. Kimberly was diagnosed about 7 to 10 days ago, so she's home recovering.
Is she feeling okay?
She's going through, my poor Kim has gone through every symptom that they tell you you're going to get with COVID.
No.
She's gone through it, and every day it changes.
No.
So she's home. I've talked to her before we came, just in the parking lot.
I hope you feel better, Kim.
Yeah, Kim, we miss you if you're watching. I hope she is. But Kim is a trooper. Mm-hmm. And Kim is also...
Maybe she's actually... maybe she's even watching.
She might be watching. But Kim is also a Revolutionized member, and she has dropped almost 15 pounds in the last couple months. So I also believe that getting herself in health and a healthy weight probably is helping her with COVID.
Oh, absolutely.
She's able to be home, breathing good,
Well,
dealing with
good.
her symptoms, but she's home recovering. So
Kim,
hopefully
I
we'll
hope
be reunited in a few weeks.
Well, we'll see. Hope you're going to be here for the next few Thursdays. So
I will be here.
Why don't you tell people about the next couple of weeks and who we can expect? So who's next Thursday?
So next Thursday is Kristen Sachs, and Kristen is our Ms. Jersey Shore International 2021. She is a dynamo realtor who you are going to fall in love with. I mean, if I want to look at someone's social media and be inspired and set myself goals, that's what I look at.
That's great.
She's just got a team of gorgeous women that...
Now, did she come to you? Was she nominated?
She's another one that our beautiful queen Donna, because Donna's in real estate, Donna said, there's this realtor, she's so gorgeous. I said, Donna, reach out to her, and then she has questions, and that same night, Kristen called me. We talked for like an hour, and that was it. By the time I hung up the phone, the paperwork was in our email box. She knew right then and there that it was what she wanted to do.
That's awesome.
So we're dying to meet her, dying to see her, and she will be here next Thursday.
That's great. And then the following Thursday?
week is Giannina.
Giannina, the foot Giannina, right?
Giannina, and Giannina, of course, is doing work now with No Kid Hungry. So there's a lot of exciting
I'm going to
stuff.
put her up to another task with that chef husband because I want to contribute this time. If I knew that she was sold out,
they'll do something else.
We'll do something else.
Because I know this is going to be her, like I said, her platform. And these ladies, this is not just about getting on stage in April and hanging up the crown. They have a year of service with us. That's their responsibility.
Oh, is that right?
So we do expect that they're going to keep that
Let's
title.
talk about that. When you say year of service, because I know Jackie was with the crown, and then she's got that sash all over the place, taking pictures all over the place.
She does.
Yeah. So
you like the one on the drums the best.
That was the best one. It was. What was, now when you go, you have to go to different places to take pictures? Is that part of it?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, obviously during COVID, it puts a little damper on things. The ladies are not getting out as much as they can.
That's true.
But, this weekend, Jeannie will be at her home. I'll be there to make sure I get some photos of her with her sash on. And for her, obviously as a married contestant, it's a family affair. Right. So we're excited, and we love that her husband's involved, her kids are going to be involved. That's part of being a Mrs. when
Right.
you have that family structure
That's
that
true.
supports you. Because, the other day, her husband and I cook, and he messaged me good luck while I was in the car and said good luck, because I put something with your
Oh.
Rock Out Loud studio in my story and said I'm getting ready to go in. And he said good luck, but he's Mr. Ocean County as far as we're concerned, so he's got a title too.
Maybe I'll be Mr. Marlboro.
You
I'll
could be.
take it. I'll
You
take
could
it.
be.
I'll take Monmouth. Not even Monmouth. Just give me Marlboro. So, I know I probably know the answer to this question, but I ask it to every one of the people that have been on these episodes, and you might have heard it last week. And the story goes, as the story always goes, is I'm a big Mustang guy.
Mm-hmm.
I had a '66 Mustang that was being built for me, and it was finally done. And as I roll it into the garage, and the garage door comes down, and I said to my dad, I said, "Pop, God, I love this Mustang." And my dad looked at me and he said, everything that you own in this world and this life will be owned by somebody else, whether it's your house or your tiara, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your sash, anything. But what are you here for? What is the mark you want to leave? Because everybody's going to own all of those things that you have. But what is your mark? I know that you've done so much for other women and yourself, but I don't think there's just one for you. I think there's so much that you want to leave to people, but I'd like to hear it out of your mouth.
I would say, and it is hard for me to say just one, but I would say it's to inspire. I think whether it's my fitness journey, my weight loss journey, my struggle with MS, my journey, I think all of that is just to inspire other people. And I think that even if one person hears my story, whatever part of that story is, oh, she has MS, oh, she was 360 pounds, or, oh, she did a bikini competition at 46, I feel like there's something I could share with everybody. I had a boss once when I got my first job out of college, and I remember my first recommendation letter when I was applying for a higher position in the company, and she said in the letter, "Mary has an enthusiasm that is contagious, and nobody else can touch that." And I've always lived my life trying to share that very enthusiastic personality and that contagiousness with people, because enthusiasm is contagious. And I believe when you surround yourself with like-minded people, you can't help but rub off on them a little bit. So
and
I hope I'm sharing that with the ladies. These women they're I always say I don't have kids of my own, so I get a little mama bear when it comes to my ladies. They're my family. Whether I've met them or not, these ladies are my family now. And I want them to know that. I think every single one of them do.
And they all gravitate to you because, like you just said, whether
I gravitate
it's
to them too.
right? And then they'll pick up the phone and they'll call you, and then all of a sudden you hit it off. Yeah. So the contribution, the magnetism, all from Mary Moulds.
Magnetism, I like that
magnetism.
word.
There you
that's
go.
That's the enthusiasm and the contagiousness.
Right.
I just feel like you can't teach that. And I think
that
that's
is
one of
true.
those things. There's teachable moments, but there's things that you're just born with. And like I said, maybe it's a little bit of the Italian personality in the genes, because I definitely got my mom's personality. My mom would stand in front of her room, and if nobody listened, she didn't care. She still owned the room. She laughed at her own jokes. She just... she was all personality.
That's fantastic.
So I believe I got that from her, and I know that she looks down every single day, and I know that she's proud.
Oh, and she's probably already watching this.
I'm sure she is.
That's amazing.
She is.
That's
Mom.
exactly
Dad,
right.
Together.
Yes. So how could people follow you? It's Happy Little Beast on Instagram, but
Yes.
more for the New Jersey International.
So it's at NJ International Pageants for
Okay.
the Instagram, and again, the website is NewJerseyInternationalPageants.com.
And to buy those tickets, where is the best way to buy those tickets?
Those tickets will be putting the information out on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and also on our website by February 1st.
Great. Let me know, too. I'll put it through all of my social media as well.
Absolutely.
And by the way, one last plug for Jack, because we all know Jack goes to sleep with podcasts. And
He
hopefully
does.
this
He
one does
does.
not. Hopefully
Cats-
this doesn't put his...
Cats and podcasts.
Okay, well, hopefully this one doesn't put him to sleep.
No, I
hopefully
don't
he
think
waits
it
to
will.
the... Jack, we're going to plug you
I
at the
think
end.
I could do anything and it would not put him to sleep, because he's my biggest fan.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
great. And I want to honor you for all you're doing for other women and for the community and for everybody. It's just a great thing. And I'm really honored to know you and meet you.
And I want to thank you for having me on your show, but I also want to tell you that you have a very busy 12 weeks ahead of you.
Oh, I'm looking forward
So you better
to
get
them.
your rest, because you are going to learn about mental health. You're going to learn about body image and weight. You're going to learn about human trafficking. You are
Yeah.
going to learn about depression. You're going to learn about recovery and everything that goes along with being the parent. Donna, I can't wait for you to meet Donna. 66, going on 67. She is going to be on your podcast. She just gave me your date.
All
She
right.
just had a license plate brought out in the state of New Jersey to support recovery. And it links into her story with her daughter, but I'm going to let her save the story.
Oh, that's great.
So
Is
you're
her
going to
daughter
meet
gonna
some
be on here, too?
Donna's going to be on. You've got a whole
That's awesome.
12 weeks planned.
That's great. Well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary Moulds.
Thank
New
you.
Jersey International.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.